Welcome to Get a Clue, Casual Gamer, where we get a clue, CLUE, about a game. Today's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to record this for my cousin Gail. She messaged me yesterday, and I think it was yesterday. Anyway, asking about suggestions for a game that she could play with a friend that she's going to visit that she hasn't seen in a while, and also could be played by 5 to 6 people, because she's going to at some point meet up with some of her college friends, I think it was, that she has not seen in decades. We don't know if any of them are gamers, and my cousin is not a big gamer. I mean, she grew up playing the games that we all grew up playing, it's Parcheesi and maybe Sorry and Apples to Apples, maybe. Our grandmother loved Chinese checkers, so she probably has played Chinese checkers with grandma. But anyway, I came up with two very well known and casual level games. And so, what I wanted to do, I suggested them to her, and I told her that I thought that I would do a recording to kind of walk you through some of the things. Whoops, I just dropped a bunch of cards. Some of the things that are different between them and mass market game that we're used to playing. Let me go get these cards because, I don't edit. Okay, got them. Yeah, they're for the second game, but I was grabbing the cover that they were in. The two games that I suggested to her are Sushi Go and Point Salad. Now, if you're a gamer and you're here like, oh yeah, I've been playing Sushi Go and Point Salad for a while. I've got Sushi Go Party, and I now have the new Point City. It's like, that's fine, so do I. But these are two games that I thought could be played without me there teaching. But because there's some terminology in the rules that might be confusing to someone who has never played a hobby game or is very new to the hobby, I want to be able to explain things like open drafting and closed drafting and, pick and pass, which is actually what Sushi Go calls itself. Is Sushi Go a pick and pass card game? So I want to explain these and show a little bit of what you'll be looking for when you go to play this game. And I'm doing this video so that when you have the game in front of you and the rule book, let me juggle the table a little bit, in the rule book, it'll make more sense to you. You won't be looking at going, I have no clue what I'm doing. None at all. What does this mean? What do they mean by pick and pass? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go just one by one and really quickly, as quickly. Now, if you already know all about Sushi Go and Point Salad, bye. I know you're probably gone already, but that's okay because we're going to go step by step, starting with Sushi Go. Sushi Go is a game that can be played with 2 to 5 players. There is Sushi Go Party. If you find that you really like Sushi Go Party is your next step. You want to get that because in it you have new cards that can be mixed and matched so that the games are not the same every time. But especially as you're learning, you don't want to get too complicated. I'm telling you, you really don't. So we're going to look at Sushi Go. Both games are set collection type games. And set collection games are like poker, Phase 10, Rummy Cube, where you're collecting sets of, in those cases, numbers or colors. Numbers and colors. You'll be doing a run and stuff like that. But, set collection, that's what these games are, but without numbers and without caring about colors. What you are caring about is sushi or sushi adjacent items, or in the case of Point Salad, salad vegetables. Simple, okay? So let's look at Sushi Go first. Well, I'm going to show you one of every possible card in this game. Now, you'll see that I have 3 cards here. All 3 of them are Maki Roll. And each one of them says at the bottom, most 6/3. At the end of the game is in 3 rounds. At the end of each round, you're going to be counting up your points. And whoever has the most Maki Rolls gets 6 points. And the second most gets 3 points. And after that, no more. If there's more than 2 people playing, third person doesn't get any. But it's not how many cards there are. It's how many Maki Rolls are at the top of the cards. So this one is much more favorable than this one because it's got 3 opposed to 1. Now, of course, if you don't have any 3s, you're going to go for the 2 and the 1s or whatever. But if you have the option of the 3 and you want to do the Maki Roll to get the most of them, keep an eye on that. So there are Maki Rolls that have 1, 2, or 3 at the top of each card. Okay? So that's one type of card that you could be saving up. Another is Sashimi. Sashimi, at the bottom, each card tells you how they score. Okay? The bottom, it says if you have, for every 3 sashimis you have, you get 10 points. So you want to have at least 3. 2, don't count for anything. 4, just count as 3, and the extra one is not worth anything. So when you collect sashimi, you want to make sure you collect in groups of 3. Then you have 3 different type of nigiri. Nigiri, you have egg nigiri, salmon nigiri, and squid nigiri. Egg nigiri is just worth 1 point. Salmon nigiri is worth 2 points. Right there it is. And squid nigiri is worth 3 points. That's really nice. But the next card I wanted to show you is the wasabi. If you get a wasabi and any one of these nigiris, match it to the nigiri that has the most points to it. If you have a squid nigiri, let's say, because that's the one I would try and get. If not, salmon, and if not, egg. Okay. So if you get the squid nigiri that's worth 3 points and a wasabi, you multiply 3 times whatever number is on the nigiri. If it's 1, 2, or 3. In this case, you would end up with 9 points. So you're wanting to match those sets. That's the nigiri wasabi combination. And the next thing I have here is pudding. Pudding is an end of game score. You're going to be playing 3 rounds, and at the end of the 3rd round, you're going to count up how many pudding cards you have. And whoever has the most pudding cards at the table gets 6 points. And whoever has the least pudding cards at the table gets a -6. Now, if there's a tie for first place, then you split and you each get 3 points. Or if there's a 3-way tie, you each get 2 points. You just divide it by how many people. And the negative, obviously in a 2-player game, you're not going to have a tie for negative. Because you're either going to have a tie for first place or a first place and a last place. It's not going to be a tie. But again, you would split the negative points amongst the tie if you have a negative tie. But these are counted at the very end. At the end of each round, you're going to be counting all your other cards, the combinations that you've collected, the sets that you have created. But the pudding cards get put off to the side until the very end of the game. And then you start counting and you give plus or -6, depending on how many you have. So this is a little bit different in that you keep it till the end of the game. Another card that you might be collecting is Tempura. Tempura, for every 2 that you have, you get 5 points. So, again, it's not complicated, I'm telling you. These are just things that you could possibly come up with. And then you have Dumpling. Dumpling has this whole long line of numbers. What does that mean? If you have 1 dumpling, it's worth 1 point. But if you have 2, it's worth 3. If you have 3, it's worth 6. If you have 4 dumpling cards, it's worth 10 points. And 5 is worth 15 points. Good luck in getting that, because I've never seen that many in one round. But I can get up to 3 in a round. I've gotten 6 points from this card by collecting 3 of these in that round. And then the last card I want to show you is the Chopsticks. Chopsticks is, you can, when you play it, you can actually take 2 cards. My suggestion is the first time you play, maybe even the second time you play, don't put these in. It can be a little bit more complicated because it's not a set collection type of concept. And until you're comfortable with Sushi Go without these, then you can add these in and make it just a tad more gotcha type of game. So that's all of the different kinds of games. Some are upside down now. There we go. All the different kinds that you might come across in Sushi Go. Okay? That's it. Those are all the cards. Now, depending on how many people, and the rule book will tell you, if you have a 2-player game, you each get dealt 10 cards at the beginning. At each round, you'll get 10 cards. Okay? Let's say I have 10 cards. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and we'll get rid of that. Okay, let's say I have 10 cards in my hand. What am I going to do? Might be a little controversial. The first time you play this game and you're looking at all of these going, I don't know what I should save. I don't know what I should go for. Pick any card. I don't care. Pick any card. Just go this one. Okay, I've picked this card. It doesn't matter. I'm here. And everyone picks a card. And at the same time, once everyone's ready, you flip it over. And, oh, look, I have a sashimi. I'm saving a sashimi. And you place it in front of you on your on the table. And then all the cards that you have in your hand now, you pass, if it's a 2-player game, across to the other player, and you get the ones they had. If it's 3 or more, you pass it to your left and you get from the right. And you just go around. And then you go again, and you're here like, oh, well, oh, there's no more sashimi, so what do I want? Oh, look, there's a pudding. Okay, I'm going to go that, and I'm going to save that for the end of the game because, I haven't seen another pudding yet. And so then you go, flip, I got a pudding. So then you lay that down in front of you. And then you pass the cards. And you just do this until you're done. You're stuck with one last card. And whatever it is, you play it down. Whether you can score from it or not, it doesn't really matter. If you score from it, great. You probably won't. You're like, by this time, it's probably the one that's not going to match anything that you have anyway. So you just play it. And at this point, it's the end of the round. You take your pudding and you put it aside. And then you start scoring your sets that you have created in front of you. And then from the deck that has them in, all the other cards, you take them and you shuffle them with any other cards that might be left. And you do it again. And again. And at the end of 3 rounds, you score like normal, and then you pull out the pudding cards, you count the pudding cards, and whoever has the most gets 6 points, whoever has the least gets -6, and that's your final score for the game. Whoever has the highest score wins. That is Sushi Go. You're just making sets from these different sushi cards. That's it. It's really not that complicated. It's a pick and pass game. It's a closed drafting game. Closed card drafting. You're the only one who's seeing at that moment which one are you picking. And until everyone has picked one and then shows it, no one knows what you picked from, really, unless they have a photographic memory. And then you pass. And it's a closed pass. That is the basics of Sushi Go. Okay? Now let's look at the basics of Point Salad. Okay? Sushi Go, I will tell you that both of these games are available on Amazon, and I'm sure you probably can find Sushi Go, the tin version, Amazon, and probably Barnes and Noble. Cardboard cover one you can probably find at Target and possibly Five Below. If you don't have a game store. If you have a game store, they probably have it as well. Now, what about Point Salad? Plays 2 to 6 players. I will say Sushi Go, the designer of Sushi Go, is my favorite designer. I have a lot of his games. I've played a lot of his games. In fact, that's one of his games right there. I can see it right there. Phil Walker Harding. So there's a little special place in my heart. I have 10 of his games right now, or 20 of his games right now. Oh, no, 10, 20. I forget. Oh no. Point Salad, I know that there's 3 designers, and I have 4 of their games. So, yeah, I like their type of games as well. So, Point Salad, first of all, let me show you the different types of vegetables that you might come across. There are 6 types. You have the onion, the pepper, the cabbage, the lettuce, the tomato, and the carrot. Okay, so you could find any and all of these in the game. There's a lot of cards. I'll show you. In Point Salad, you got a lot of cards. Okay, in Sushi Go, you have about that many as well. Okay, so then on one side, these are different than Sushi Go in that they are double-sided. On one side are the vegetables. On the other side are the possible goals. And this game does have a small setup, which is you shuffle everything, cards, and then you split them into 3 piles, more or less even, because it really doesn't matter because you're going to be moving it around. If one runs out, you're going to take from the others and put it, and you're always going to have 3 piles up there. Doesn't matter if one empties first. And then below it, you're going to have 2 rows. Well, the piles will have the goals side up, and then below it, you're going to do 2 rows of the veggies shown under there. Let me find you a picture so you have an idea of what it looks like. There we go. That's basically what the setup's going to look at. You're going to have 3 piles here showing the goals face up and 2 rows here with veggies showing. Okay? And the goals, I pulled out a sampling of what the goals might look like, because this is how you get points, are fulfilling these goals. So here's one where for every 2 tomatoes, you get 2 points. Or no, a tomato for every 2 points for every tomato. Ooh, that's good. Get a lot of tomatoes. 2 points for every tomato. This one is, if you have the fewest lettuce from all those at the table, you get 7 points. So in other words, you're trying to not pick up lettuce. This one, for every combination of a pepper, a cabbage, and a tomato, you get 8 points. So if you have, let's say, 3 tomatoes, 2 cabbage, and 2 peppers at the end of the game, you have 2 complete copies, of this goal. So you would actually get 16 points. So let's do the math right, Linda. This one, it's got positive and negatives. You get 3 points for every onion, but you get a -2 for every pepper. So if you get this one, if you choose this one, you're avoiding peppers and trying to get onions. This one has a couple negatives. 3 points for every pepper, which is the opposite of this one. This one doesn't want pepper. This one does want peppers, 3 points. But you don't want any tomatoes and lettuce because they're each a -1. And then this one is you get a point for every carrot and a point for every lettuce. It's like, that's the kind of goals that there are. And you will choose multiple, when it's your turn, you can choose one of two things. You can either choose one of the 3 goals that are showing on the top of the 3 piles, pick one, or you can choose 2 of the vegetables that are out of the 6 that you can see at the bottom. You just pick either a goal or 2 vegetables, and that's your turn. That's it. Then when it comes back to your turn, you do it again. And you want to have a combination. You want to try and pick goals that match the veggies that are available, or veggies that match the goals that you've been able to get. And so that at the end, and this is the neat part about scoring at the end, and you play until the 3 piles are gone, until you can't replenish the bottom. That's the end of the game. That triggers the end. One of the neat things is, let's say at the end you have 7 tomatoes, 4 cabbage, 4 carrots, and 2 onions, or whatever combination. I don't know. Anyway, so you have that, and you have goals. You have 2 different goals that call for tomatoes. Guess what? You can use those same tomatoes for both goals. You don't have to just choose one and go, okay, I'm going to use my tomatoes for this goal. No, you can use them for both. And that's the other thing with the negative points. You're going to get a negative. You can't say, well, I'm going to use the peppers for this goal, and so I won't have any left for that goal. No, it's the positive and the negative of being able to count all the veggies that are in front of you. You want to make sure that you have none of the things that are negative to you, and plenty of the things that can count. For instance, let's just say, I'm grabbing here this. Okay, I don't want that. I don't want that one. Let's go with no. Okay, I'm gonna find another one that will work with this. There are plenty that have negatives, but there's also some that have positives. Okay, let's say this. Okay, here we go. Let's say I have these 3 goals left at the end of the game. Okay, 2 of them have tomatoes here and here. 2 of them have peppers here and here. So guess what? For every pepper, I get a point. But every time I have a pepper, cabbage, and tomato, I get 8 points. For every tomato, I get 2 points. So again, tomato, cabbage, pepper, I get 8 points. So again, the peppers can be counted for both. The tomatoes can be counted for both. But then with the negatives, you don't want to have this if you're going for onion, because for every onion you get 1 point, but you also get a -2, so you end up with a -1 for every onion that you have. And since they're not, so it's balancing which goals you pick. They're not picked for you. You get to pick. And if there's bad goals at the top, pick a couple of the veggies and that in that column, and that top one gets flipped over and now becomes a vegetable, and it's no longer that ugly goal that you really didn't want. So next time around, hopefully you won't be stuck with one that would cause you to have negatives. You can always just take veggies. You're going to have more veggies than you have goals. So that way you can cover more of the goals with the same veggies. and that is basically point salad. And the picking from the 9 things that you can see is called open drafting, open card drafting. Everyone sees what's available, and you pick what you want, knowing all that is there available. That's open card drafting. While Sushi Go, since you're the only one looking at the hand, it's closed card drafting. And it's all about set collection. So there you go. I gave you a kind of a quick explanation of these 2 games, the basics of how to play them. And so now, once you have the cards in front of you, once you have the rule book in front of you, let me pull this out so I have both rule books here. The rule books in front of you, they will make more sense to you, because now you know what all the cards mean, and you know what the layout means and how to use it. And really, these instruction books are very simple. They show you what to do, how to pick a card, and how to keep track of your cards with your goals and your veggies. I mean, it's like, now you know what these pictures mean. So, until next time, happy gaming. Gail, happy gaming to you and your friends, and to everyone else who might be interested in trying out Sushi Go or Point Salad. Until the next time, bye and God bless you.